Welcome to a new weekly wrap-up. I'm S and I'm joined with Jay.
Hi!
And we'll be walking you through the art we made this week. To start things off for day 15, the prompt was National Hat Day.
Woo!
And so I was tasked with this prompt, and I immediately knew that I wanted to draw Ruby. I don't really know why, but I'm just like, Hat Day, Ruby, like immediately. And then also, along with Ruby, I immediately knew that I wanted to give her a bright red hat. And so, yeah, that's what I did. So before I started to research, I guess, hat photo shoots, and I kind of noticed a particular detail, which was that a lot of these photo shoots had really big hats. Like, I guess they're particularly fashionable, I don't know.
Okay.
And so, but what I also noticed was that in these hat photo shoots, the person wearing the hat would either be so silhouetted that like you could not see actually the person.
Oh.
And it was mostly for like, the shape of the hat with the person, or it would be the hat was covering a lot of that person's face.
Oh, okay. So
right?
like it was like obscuring them.
Right. Because otherwise, then the hat would not be the focus, right? And then the focus would be that person's face.
Yeah.
And so I guess I kind of tried to go, I guess, the middle line here, where like I obviously wanted the hat to be the main focus, but I still wanted to see Ruby's face. And yeah, I kind of did it partially blocked, but I definitely, like, even though in the end this piece turned out a little bit darker than I initially wanted to, but it kind of also was because of the whole like silhouetting thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, I really like the pose you drew Ruby in. Like, I feel like it's both simple and elegant, right? And like you said, it does show off the hat like really well. I mean, it is obviously the main focus, which is, the point. But actually, I kind of wonder if you had ever considered doing one of those like really fancy or elaborate those kinds of really decorative hats
with like giant feathers and all those things.
Feathers, flowers,
yeah,
jewels, like those, royal.
I mean, I guess I wasn't thinking about it because, I guess maybe regular photo shoots is just more regular hats. But now that you bring it up, I kind of wish I did, right? Because I feel like that would be such a good opportunity to draw something really, not just say just fancy and elaborate, but just kind of really ornate. Well, not artistic, right?
Yeah.
Because I think those types of hats are really cool in a sense that like they have a lot of creativity to them. They're not very they're obviously not everyday wear hats, but like they are such a statement piece.
They are. I feel like they have a lot of character, right? And they can be both really flashy and then really like, what is that person wearing on their head? Right?
Yeah. Well, anyways, just finishing off this picture, I just did find that it was a little bit difficult to color Ruby's shirt, actually, just because like the hat is top heavy, and like because I wanted it to be red, I wanted it to be the like what you focus on when you first see it, right?
Yeah.
And so I was having troubles because I was like, okay, well, what color can she wear? And I initially even floated a red shirt or like a green shirt, but then in the end it just kind of didn't really, it took away from the hat.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So in the end I chose a darker, just a gray shirt, but I'm not super satisfied with it, but I couldn't really come up with a good alternative, to be honest.
Honestly, I actually kind of like it though. Like, I was going to say, I really like that you chose to give her like a red or maroon hat, because it really gives a nice contrast with her hair, right, which is blue. And because her shirt is like gray, like it doesn't take away any of the focus from the main centerpiece, which is the hat.
Yeah, and I kind of had that same conclusion, right, in the end. And as much as it was darker than I initially wanted to, it still kind of worked out in the end.
Okay, for day 16, we are on to my prompt, hot chocolate.
Yum, I love hot chocolate.
Me too. And this prompt was heavily inspired by the last time I had hot chocolate. It was at a Christmas market, and that was really fun. And it was also the inspiration for the background and just the whole setting for this piece.
Yeah.
So I wanted Layla to be like really cozily bundled up.
Yeah, no, she really does look like she's,
Yeah, but like not, because like there's like sort of manageable cold, and then there's like I am, freezing.
Yeah, no, because I really like how you drew this one, because it kind of, like, how, like, as you said, there's like kind of two different types of cold. There's the cold where it's like, oh, I'm freezing my boots off. And then there's this cold that kind of has more of a romantic, like, Christmassy vibe, like just enjoying the weather. Yeah, and this one really encapsulates that.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I didn't add in this piece was snow, which I kind of regret, but like I think it's still good. But so generally I wanted to make her feel really cozy, so I gave her oversized jacket, her beret and scarf, and I wanted to make it seem a little bit like playful without being like, this is winter gear, I am treading outside in the negative weather, right? And so like for this one, I wanted her to seem cozy but also still bundled up. And then on top of that, I wanted to make her walk outside kind of in a more, I guess, artistic district, right? Because I was pretty heavily inspired by Christmas markets and those kinds of things, so that was the inspiration for putting like a bakery there. And behind her is like a sort of like brick building. It's not really that prominent, but yeah.
Yeah, no, what I actually really thought of was, when I first saw this, was that it reminds me, like, I don't know, for some reason kind of gives me like Parisian or like European vibes for some reason.
Okay.
And also, yeah, Christmas market was also the first thing that I thought of.
Yeah.
And, going back to her outfit, I think it kind of hits that, like, how people have like cozy autumn vibes? Where it's kind of like fashionable sweaters and all those things. And then sometimes in wintertime, like, people are just so bundled up, it doesn't like feel like fashionable.
They lost their fashion because of the cold. Yeah.
But like, no, this one kind of hits like the middle of that, which I think is really, really nice.
Yeah.
And kind of like you said, right? With the whole winter market stuff, like, it gives off that really warm vibe, which I really like. And yeah, like, I kind of agree, maybe it could have a little bit of snow, like maybe on like the windowsill or like something, maybe. But I still, as it is, I think it's really nice.
Yeah, that's actually why I opted to add some of the fairy lights at the very end, because I was like, I feel like it's still missing sort of that subtle, festive vibe, even though it's not Christmas anymore, right? But like, because it's still winter, people still feel like, in the winter, it's like, it's the season.
Yeah, no, but I think the fairy lights really help to like make it, I don't know, even more cozy. Because like, I guess, because like without them, right, it still looks like really warm and those things, but with them, it's like, yes, it's specifically like that cozy vibe.
Yeah. You gotta get that association.
Yeah, but actually, I wanted to ask you if you tried a new brush or something, because it looks a bit different from what you usually color with, and I like it a lot, the kind of painterly strokes in the windowsill and all those things.
Normally I color with just like the lasso fill. Like the colors are very like they can be flat, right? So for this one, no, I have a brush that can sort of mix colors a little bit, and I was trying it. I use it sometimes, but yeah, for this one, because I knew that I wanted to make it a little bit more cozy, I opted to color with that instead of my usual lasso fill or whatever.
No, I think it really worked out well, because I think, like I said, I really liked the like I said, the strokes in the window, right? And then how it makes it look for like the red in the bakery or on the counter, right?
Yeah, I felt like if I used this brush, it would give it a little bit more of a nostalgic vibe.
Yeah. I definitely think you achieved that.
But yeah, onto the hot chocolate itself. For me, I definitely knew 100% this was gonna be one of those hot chocolate that would be like
super decked out,
filled to the brim with whipped cream and chocolate shavings and this and that. Because I feel like that's like the pinnacle for like, you know, teenagers getting a hot drink in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't have a lot else to say about the drink, but I mean, I tried to make it look fairly tasty. But yeah, no, I could still tell what it was. I mean, it kind of looked okay. I will say, I guess it kind of looks like a ice cream like sundae, like because of the whipped cream, like a McFlurry.
Yeah. It does have that kind of vibe.
Yeah,
but
I
like,
get that.
you know, knowing that it's hot chocolate, I'm like, that's whipped cream. I'm like, yeah, it looks really good. All right, the next one is day 17, and it was films and movies. So for this prompt, this one I will say was quite difficult. And the reason why it was so difficult was because if you remember, I am the character artist most of the time, and I don't really draw backgrounds. And so for this one, for films and movies, I really wanted to show, you know, Ashley and Layla watching a movie together, and of course they would have to sit on a couch or something, watch a TV, like watch a film on the TV. And so I really wanted to draw like furniture and those things. And because of that, I tried to use perspective rulers on Clip Studio, and oh my gosh, I think I battled those rulers for solidly 2 hours. Like, I didn't even record it. Like, I asked Jay for help and everything, and it was a hard-fought battle. It really was. And in the end, I kind of just winged the rulers, and I think it turned out okay. But oh my gosh, I still don't know how to use them.
I think they turned out all right. I mean, I think even though you battled it for so long and you had some frustrations, like, I think the piece still ended up turning out really well. Like, everybody seems like they're having a lot of fun, and yeah.
Yeah, well, anyways, so while I was kind of trying to, I guess, figure out the composition of this piece, I was looking up some, like, references on Google, like, of people watching TV. And what I noticed was that they kind of only had 2 compositions. The first would be, it's straight on, you could only see the people watching TV and their expressions, and you don't actually see
just their face.
Yeah, you don't see the TV. And then the other one is obviously the opposite. You see the TV, but then you see the back of their head. Right? And so for me, I kind of wanted, like, both worlds, right? Like, you know, give me, like...
Yeah.
But then, the biggest problem was trying to figure out a composition that would be able to fit both. So I kind of did it on, like, an angle, and then I ended up having Layla turning around towards Ash and Ray.
Right.
And, you know, maybe that's not quite exactly like what her expression is watching whatever's on the TV, but I think it worked enough.
I mean, it looks good because I think she looks like she's greeting Ash and Ray, which is great. But actually, it kind of reminds me of week 1 when I had to do fireplace, because I actually encountered the same issue. Where I wanted the fireplace to be front and center, but you know, all of the pictures that I had referenced online, like, everybody is like huddled next to the fire or whatever.
Right.
And then in that one, I had Ruby next to the fire, but I didn't want to, like, not see her. And so I also turned her face towards, I guess, the viewer, and had a sort of like over the shoulder kind of shot.
Right.
Like, yeah, just to see her and the subject, in that case, the fireplace itself, and in this case, the TV, in that kind of shot.
Right. Well, anyways, moving on. So I really wanted to kind of have that warm and familiar vibe with friends, but also, like, when I was drawing the movie, I guess, on the TV screen, I was actually debating between a romantic, like, confession scene in the rain or a, like, murder scene. And you can see that the murder scene won out.
I mean, the vibes are so cozy, and then you look at the TV and you're like, oh my gosh, right? I mean, because I was just going to say that you know, Layla paused at such an intense moment.
Really.
You know, she's like greeting Ash and Ray, like, hey, what's up? Like, wanna join me for the movie? And like, the girl is about to, like, die or something.
Yeah.
But actually, I was going to ask you, since obviously Zenith to Infinity, their level of technology is a little bit, I think, more advanced than
there's like holograms and stuff.
Yeah, than our modern society. So I was curious to know why you chose to do a black and white film, because even these days, like, you don't see a lot of black and white films. It's very like
kind of old school,
a relic of the past sometimes. Like, you know, it feels a little bit retro maybe, or even before that.
I know what you're talking about. And well, there was actually a reason for that, and the main reason was because, well, one of the main reasons actually is that Layla is in this is because she has a film hobby. She likes to watch, you know, I guess B-list, C-list kind of films. Yeah, and like, for me, it's not to say that, like, you know, black and white films are like B tier or C tier. But since she has a movie hobby, I was thinking for people nowadays, if they were to shoot in black and white, it more than a technology thing, it's an intentional artistic thing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I was thinking, if she has a film hobby and, you know, she's really into it and maybe into these, like, not to say niche types of like
movies, indie films or something.
Right. Yeah. Then there could be a good possibility that she is watching a movie from a director that has these artistic visions or directions.
Okay.
And so, like, for me, I floated doing like a full color one, but I thought that in the end it kind of worked out a bit more with that kind of reasoning in mind, but also because the picture itself is, you know, it's warm and inviting, but then you have the film in black and white to help contrast it. And like, it's the same, it's the same with the vibes with the actual like film itself, like the murder vibes and the comfort vibes like outside of it, like contrasting each other.
Yeah, I definitely think the contrast really works well for the whole piece itself, because like it is really eye-catching in a sense, right? Because like you said, the gap between the warm and cozy, friendly, you know, family and friends vibes, versus, you know, this black and white murder scene, right, is you know, quite vast and makes it visually pretty interesting. But one other thing I was going to say is that actually for this piece, I think Ash and Ray should have come with some popcorn.
You're so right.
I mean, there isn't a good movie date movie outing without some popcorn.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. I guess I was more focused on like the vibes of, you know, just watching with friends, and I kind of completely forgot about it. But, you know, you're right, they totally should have had some popcorn on them. And I think it's just there was just so many details in this piece, like, you know, even from the things inside the TV console or whatever, that I just kind of, it left my mind. Alright, and for day 18, it was back to me with Bicycle. And for this one, I thought it was pretty straightforward, but actually initially, the subject of this picture was going to be Ash, but then I was like, I don't know, I don't really feel like we need to use Ash for a lot of the really sporty kind of prompts that we have. I think especially since bicycles are, you know, ridden by everyone.
Exactly.
Even like it's a rather, I guess, it can be a bit more low impact. Obviously, there's like those like extreme bicycling people,
or like Tour de France or something,
or like, you know, mountain biking. But you know, I think something leisurely can be done by anybody.
And so that's why I opted to choose Liam. Actually, one of my like on the topic of like extreme like bike sports, one of my ideas initially was to have Ash do one of those like
those bike tricks.
That's really cool. But I couldn't find a good like picture or like freeze frame of a bike trick.
I think you're kind of having the same issue I had with the snowboarding prompt.
But then also I realized I would have to draw the bike tricking, and I was like,
I mean, even this one you used a 3D model.
Yeah, so
I wonder if you could like 3D model the bike trick.
You could turn the wheels like a little bit, but like it wasn't a whole, cause you know some bikes you can like completely
turn the whole body,
twist the whole body of the bike and stuff, and like I was like, maybe now's not the time to experiment with that.
I think that would have been cool though if you could do it.
Yeah, and then I thought of the people who like, you know, bike around to like explore their cities or like just like general like tourism or whatever. So that's kind of where I ended up going. And so I opted to choose Liam because, you know, Ash does not have to do all of the sports. One other thing that I, you know, was kind of trying to figure out was what Liam would be looking at, because, you know, it was one thing to just have him kind of riding the bike in the neighborhood or whatever.
Right.
But for this one, I did kind of want him to be looking out at something. And whatever that something was, I had a pretty difficult time figuring out, you know, what it would be. Because initially I was like, okay, well, maybe he could be looking down at Central. And then I was like, but there's no, like, mountains in Central. And also, like, I had just drawn Central in my paint in week 2. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I don't need to draw Central again.
Right.
Because I was like, either I plop him in the city, or he's looking out at Central, in which, you know, there's no mountains or whatever. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I can just, like,
plop him in nature instead.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I do think that it worked out really well, because I think that this vibe, because Central is so busy, I like this one. It's a bit more peaceful. And it makes him look really sporty and cool. And I particularly like, I know you said that it took you some time to figure out what you wanted him to look at. But what I really like about this piece is that he looks out, you know, into a river or forest or whatever. Like, and not looking at us, the viewer, because I think a lot of the times, for you and me, our character, like, subjects turn to look at us, the viewer. And I really like that this one is completely, he's not even looking at us, and it makes him really feel like he has his own, not to just say agency, but he has his own, he's living in his own, like, world in the picture, right?
He's immersed in his own environment.
And so, like, you're kind of, like, more so, like, just capturing, like, a moment in his life, rather than, like, hey, specifically, let's take a photo together, you know? And which I really like about this one.
That is kind of the thing that I did kind of want to capture. I think also because, like you said, like, when, just like, let's say when you go hiking or whatever, when you go out to see nature or whatever it is, right? Like, a lot of times you're going out there to see the scenery and kind of soak in the views and whatever, and
like the stillness of nature,
right? And that's kind of what I wanted to sort of encapsulate.
On to day 19 now, and the prompt for this day was card games. And, well, I mean, there's many different types of card games. There's, you know, the card games with your regular playing cards, and there's the card games, like, kind of like those, like, TCG stuff. And those things. And I wasn't really sure which one to go with, and I actually honestly wanted to do, like, the more TCG vibe.
The tabletop.
But I honestly was not really, like, we don't play these tabletop card games, so I wasn't familiar with how they worked. And so in the end, I kind of just went with just a regular deck of cards. And so for us, sometimes we play card games with our family. Not a lot, but, you know, sometimes, like maybe on, like, vacation or something, since there's nothing else to do. I really wanted to kind of, like, even though, like, we're not competitive, right, with our card games. I know there's a lot of people, and even some of our friends who are competitive, right, with card games. And I really kind of wanted to put that, like, friendly but heated, like, rivalry type of vibe in this piece.
I love the friendly rivalry going on in this picture. I feel like you know, even though things can get really heated, but like it's all in good fun.
Yeah. I mean, especially with their expressions, I really like that they're both kind of like haha, chuckling, laughing with each other, but then there's flames in the background.
Fire in the background really it really sets the tone despite their like, you know, smiling faces.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And so I don't know, I just really wanted to kind of capture that, you know, good nature but rivalry vibe, but also like kind of highlight that, you know, a lot of card games, especially at like the professional level, like have a lot of like strategy behind it, and whatever.
Yeah.
And even though like I don't really know what game they're playing, I made them play a game of cards, but I honestly don't know what they're playing. But I still wanted to kind of have that sort of strategy vibe kind of going on.
Right. Like they're like kind of playing mind games and seeing who can, you know, outwit the other, and you know, but who knows, maybe they're playing like Go Fish or something.
maybe I mean, no, I feel like even for Go Fish there's kind of strategy in like, oh, you wanna like maybe get rid of some certain cards, and then so like you position it like in certain ways so other people can pick it.
I mean, I'm not a professional Go Fish player, but who knows, right? But yeah, I think this piece is a lot of fun, honestly. I think you know, Ash, Layla, and Ray, you know, would look at this and just be low-key really intimidated.
Yeah, actually I initially had 3 characters at the table. It was supposed to be Liam, Ruby, and actually Ray. Whether he was playing or he was walking by looking horrified. But in the end, it was just a little bit difficult to fit so many characters in this in this kind of canvas template.
Right.
And so I didn't end up drawing him, but that was actually the initial plan.
Oh, okay.
And I did end up actually choosing Liam and Ruby because they are kind of more of the they're the leader and the brains of our of our group.
They're the adult characters.
In Era, and so like I just wanted to kind of have them have a friendly match together.
Yeah. Okay, so for day 20, it was tea. So today I drew Ruby chilling at a cafe, and honestly, this one was also very straightforward, very easy, because I knew immediately that I wanted to draw Ruby like chilling at a cafe. The only thing that I was kind of debating about was whether or not I should set it in the daytime or nighttime.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really think about it that hard, honestly, because I was like, well, a lot of cafes usually close in the evening, so maybe I'll just do it daytime. Like
that makes sense.
It wasn't something I really thought long and hard about.
You're like, which one?
Okay,
this one's a bit more logical.
Yeah, and so like for me, I was just like, okay, well maybe Ruby's just spending a weekend, or just, you know, spending some time off on an afternoon and just drinking some tea, and
yeah, no, I honestly, well, I didn't know that you had, I guess, this dilemma between night and day, and I was gonna say that I really like how warm this piece looks. Right?
Oh, thank you.
It's like really, you know, like kind of like your hot chocolate one, right? It has the vibe, right? It has the warm vibe, it has the, you know, just relaxing, and you know, with the sunlight. I feel like, as much as like it would be nice if it was nighttime too, I just think that this is the type of warm vibe that you can't, like, that you can only have in the daytime, right?
That's kind of the thing, right? Because I think like half the reason you go to a cafe, besides like having the food, is the vibes, right? And it's just putting yourself in a space where you can relax, you can have a drink, and just like, you know, whether you're working on something or you're just there to like chill, like, yeah, like that's part of the whole cafe experience.
Yeah, and what I like is that it's, you know, a very relaxing kind of, like, you make her look really relaxed, and, you know, as somebody, or both of us who both really love tea as well, right, I kind of wonder, you know, what is she drinking, right? And like, is she with somebody, or is she just, you know, enjoying the time by herself, right?
Yeah. I mean, I always thought that she is just like going by herself and whatever, and just kind of like, you know, de-stressing from, you know, whether it's the work week or whatever, right?
What she's missing is a slice of cake.
Oh, yeah.
Or like just some food, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, I mean, for her clothing, I did kind of want to make her seem casual, but also not like so casual that it's like, you know, t-shirt and jeans, but like sort of like it's like work casual, you know, like
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So like I wanted to put her in a nice blouse, but like casual but also elegant and comfy, you know?
So
Yeah.
not quite like, you know, t-shirt or like sweater and jeans.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like
no.
still put together, but not over the top.
Yeah, because I mean that's kind of how I see Ruby.
Yeah.
And for this one, I wasn't sure if I wanted to tie up her hair or not. And I had considered leaving it just untied, but
Yeah.
because in our webcomic we do usually tie her hair up.
Yes.
And we had like in our previous challenge days.
Yeah.
We didn't like we left her hair sort of free flowing.
Yeah.
I opted to tie it up this time.
To wrap things up for the last day of our challenge, day 21, the prompt for this day was crane games. And I don't know about you, but I always think that it's so much fun to go to an arcade or, you know, do a crane game with some friends or at least
Yeah.
other people, right? And so for this one, it took quite a long time because there were so many things, but I wanted to draw, you know, Ash, Ray, and Layla, and, you know, a whole bunch of plushies and all those things, you know, typical crane game stuff. And yeah, because of that, it took a long time. I mean, it looks great though. I love their Thank you.
expressions. They're so like, it's so like intense. They're like, come on, right? And like high key, like Ray and Layla are so invested. Like Layla has her hand on Ash and they're like, come on,
you can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I really wanted to make them like really, I guess, interested in and deeply invested in what
Yeah.
was going on, or else like, I mean, they're not playing, right? So then otherwise, not to say there's no point in them being there, but they're invested in the thing because, you know, Ash has grabbed the plushie and
Yeah.
and it, you know, these claw machines can kind of be finicky sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I also really like subtly like the movement of the drawstrings on Ash's sweater because they have so much movement. You can tell like he's really like going at it.
Yeah.
Like go.
He's really immersed.
Yeah.
I mean, like for us, like we have always wanted to do like crane games for a long time, but I think for us, we were kind of like hesitant because, like, you know, we didn't want to sink money into a crane game if we couldn't get anything out of it. And actually, our mom was the same way too. And so last year, for the first time, we're like, you know what? We're gonna set like a budget for ourselves and we're just gonna play.
Yeah.
Right? Just to have some fun. But you know, we actually won something, and I think during that time when we were all trying to win that that little keychain plushie, we were all kind of in, you know, Ash, Ray, and Layla's shoes, going like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, like you can do it, like go try again, you know?
I think it's one of those things where it's like when you don't have any experience playing it, you're like, I don't want to sink in a ton of money just
Yeah.
to like lose it all because
yeah.
I don't have
You're
experience.
like, that's a bad investment.
Yeah,
you know?
but then you know, if you don't pay the money, you don't get experience, right?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
just that kind of thing where it's just like, oh, right. But I think setting a budget and like, you know, being able to do it is a lot of fun, right? And
Yeah, and I think like, I mean, I think arcades are there for you to have fun
yeah,
in general, and like I think that it's such a good experience, and as long as you're, you know, within your limits, it's okay. But anyways, back to the piece, like, I don't know, I had a lot of fun drawing this one, even though it took so long to do, just because of just, you know, the different elements of it. And like, I guess for me also, even just coloring the piece, right? How to like color them kind of behind the glass, but also like still brightly colored, because like, you know, these
Yeah.
crane games have a lot of like kind of neon lights flashing around everywhere.
yeah, they're really bright.
And I think I showed it okay.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah, it is colored definitely like one of those crane games where like because they shine such a bright light on the prizes to try to like entice you to get it, right?
Yeah.
So it definitely looks like that. And that's pretty much it for this week's weekly wrap up from the both of us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. And if you'd like to see more, maybe you'll be interested in last week's video too. See you there!